This video is just to show you how to do descriptives and Jamovi. So the reason I didn't include it in the lecture is because it's actually going to do both measures of central tendency and measures of variation. And that's actually what we call descriptives. Remember, descriptive statistics refers to measures that we're calculating from the sample. And we're not trying to infer to a population. So in Jamovi, what entails descriptive statistics is going to be the measures of central tendency, the mean, median, and the mode, the measures of variation, the range, the standard deviation, the variance, but it also includes other measures like kurtosis, measures of position like blanking out, the quartiles. Let me go back to our notes. The first measure of central tendency we encountered was actually the mode of transportation. And we were looking for the mode, and we had a nominal variable. So the categories were walking, bicycle, bus, or car. And they were categories, and they did not have an order. So let's replicate this in Jamovi. So I have the variable here. I call it mode of transportation. I'm going to click on the analysis tab, and then I'm going to go to exploration. In exploration, I have the option for descriptives. So here it is. I need to look for mode of transportation, which is right there, and it has the bubbles there, which represent a nominal variable. When I drag it into the variables box, it immediately does descriptives. But the only thing that can do here is just tell me how many observations do I have, and it's 38. There's no missing data. There's no mean, median, or minimum because it cannot calculate it. It's a nominal variable. So what I have to do is I have to check here where it says frequency tables. So here it's telling me that frequency tables only works for nominal or ordinal variables. And it also gives me the percentages if I wanted that. But really I was just looking for this table, which is exactly what we had in our notes, except less colorful. So in our notes for measures of central tendency, the next measure of central tendency that we learned about was the median. So let's see how we can get the median. And I have the data for the hotel rooms. I'm pretty sure I have meteorites, and I have Poindexter. I'm not sure I have the tornadoes. Let's go to Jamovi. I'm going to go to data. So here it is, hotel rooms. It's the same data. And I go to, and I have meteorites, and I have Poindexter's scores in the past 15 games. We don't know what kind of game, we just know it's their scores. So I'm going to go to analysis, exploration, and descriptives again. And then I can do all of them together. Isn't that nice? I can just drag them. I am looking for the median. And that's what they are. Let me double check with our notes. The median for hotels room was 409. The median for meteorites was 83.5. And the median for Poindexter was 9, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Boom. Perfect. With this same data set, notice it's giving me the minimum and the maximum. If I wanted to, I could calculate the range. But I could also ask for quartiles. I could also ask for the variance and the standard deviation, and I could just ask for the range if I wanted to. I can also ask for skewness and kurtosis if I wanted to. So for kurtosis, we kind of have those cutoffs that we discussed in the measures of variability section at the end. So you can always compare to these values. Again, the values that we use in this class are for very small data sets, so it's not something that you're going to be able to take to other type of research. Just be aware of that. Also, here is the 25 percentile, 50 percentile, and 75 percentile. Those are the quartiles. The only thing that I don't see Jamovi doing is the interquartile range, which would be whatever the 75 percentile is minus the 25th percentile. So this is Q1, Q2, and Q3. Remember, the median is the same as the 50th percentile, the middle of the distribution, so this number should always be the same. Another check that you can do is checking that when you take the square root of the variance, it becomes the standard deviation. I mean, Jamal is not going to make a mistake, but if you want to test yourself, you can do that. Let me go back to our notes. The next measure that we discussed was quartiles, which is not necessarily a measure of central tendency, but it's a measure of position. So I have this data set for vacation days. Our quartiles were, the median was 28, Q1 was 25, and Q3 was 36. Let me go remove this. No, actually, I'm just going to go again so I can keep the table there. But I am looking for vacation days. There it is. I don't want anything except maybe the N and the quartiles. That's all I want. 25, 28, and 35. Perfect. So the next thing I want to check is going into our notes for the measures of variability. Remember the 2 experimental brands of paint. I want to check for the range for brand A, which was, the mean was 35 and the range was 50. I'm going to click. I'm going to drag months. Just in case you're wondering, kind of gave you a little bit of detail, like brand A, it's months, just so you know what we're doing. I'm going to go back to months. I only want the mean. I don't care about missing. I don't care. Yeah, I'm going to keep the minimum maximum just to see that we had it correctly. That's my range. That's what I got. That's my mean. That's how many observations I had. Let me go back to our notes. Measures of variation. So we did the standard deviation for the same variable. I can just check standard deviation, and there it is, 18.7. Let me check for variance as well. Let me check our notes. So variance was 350 in months, and yeah, we just rounded to 2 digits in the notes. Let's check the eating disorders problem. The variable is going to be weeks, because it was, let me read it. The number of weeks it took to reach the target weight for 9 patients, so I call it weeks. Let me drag weeks here. I need just the standard deviation. That's all I want. I don't want the mean. Actually, I do want the mean. Yeah, it was 13. That's what we got for standard deviation. That's what we got for variance. Perfect. Finally, let's do strikes. So it was the same thing. We had 5 strikes. Let me show you the data for strikes. It's this one. The mean, according to us, was 7.4. That's what we got. That's exactly what we got for standard deviation and for variance. We can also get kurtosis. The issue with kurtosis, let me show you in our notes. We got 2.6. Jamobi got 2.02. So there is a discrepancy, and the discrepancy is because Jamobi is using a more precise equation, because, well, Jamobi can actually do harder calculations than we can. So whenever you have to report kurtosis, just make sure you're clear which kurtosis you are reporting. The one from Jamobi, or if you calculated it by hand. So I'm going to post this data so that you can play with it. And one thing I wanted to show you, let me, for example, go back to the frequencies table. If you click on it, I click on it twice. It kind of takes me to what the analysis was, to what I check, and the variable that I use. Let me go to this descriptives table. If I click on it, it shows me the variables and it tells me what I check to get that information. So you can always, you're going to receive this, and you can always just go back and see how I did it if you need to.